and welcome to this presentation on AP Classroom Resources, most specifically, topic questions. My name is Claire Lorenz, and I work on the AP Instruction team at the College Board. We really appreciate you joining us today. So this is one of several presentations on AP Classroom Resources where we'll do a deep dive into the instructional tools that the AP program has designed to support AP teachers of our history and the arts courses. These resources can help you provide the practice and support your students will need, regardless of where you are in the school year and how instruction is being delivered. So, without further ado, we're going to get started with this presentation on topic questions. So just as a reminder, if you happen to join us for one of our other presentations, we talked about how our resources are meant to support every stage of teaching and learning in the instructional cycle. So whether you are planning, teaching, practicing, assessing students, getting feedback from your students, giving feedback to your students, there is an AP resource aligned to each one of these stages in the cycle. For the purposes of this presentation, we are going to be focused on topic questions and how questions can help students practice what they have learned in terms of content and skills for each individual topic in a course. So first of all, topic questions, what are they? So topic questions provide students with practice applying the content and skills for each topic within a unit. So the main idea is that topic questions are meant to be used as you teach each topic within a course so that you don't have to wait until the end of the unit to assess whether or not students understand what has been taught in terms of topic content and skill. The topic questions enable you as the teacher to check for understanding early. So, as you're teaching at that particular topic, and often as you go from topic to topic, so that you can be better informed about individual and class level support or scaffolding or other reteaching you may have to do. So, you're not moving on to more complex or more difficult content or skill in the unit and not know that students are struggling with content or skill from the previous topic. Um, they do this by providing just in time feedback to help you as the teacher identify those common student misunderstandings. But they also provide this same type of feedback to help students understand and correct their misunderstandings because students will get feedback in terms of the reason correct answers are correct and the reason that incorrect answers are incorrect through the rationales provided for the topic questions. So, how should you assign topic questions? Well, they can be used before, during, or after instruction. Here are some ideas that we hear from other AP teachers about how they're using topic questions. They may use them as warm up questions. Say you've assigned a reading the night before and you want to get a sense of how students digested some of what they read. You can use them as warm up before class. You can use them as homework exercises, either before you teach a lesson and students do a reading, or after you've taught a lesson and you want to gauge what they took away from that lesson. You can use them as exit ticket questions. So you've taught a lesson and you can use the topic questions to get a really quick understanding of whether or not students understood what was taught that day. You can use them in conjunction with AP daily videos. So if you have students watch the AP daily videos, whether that's in class or asynchronously on their own time for homework or outside of class, you can use the topic questions to determine if students were able to glean the content and skill knowledge that they should have from those AP daily videos. So the topic questions are not only aligned with the topic and skill, but also the AP daily videos, which are also aligned to each individual topic and skill. or you can use them to check for understanding before, during, or after direct instruction. So if you're doing your own instruction with students, you can use these before class, during class as a mid-class check for understanding, or after class to, again, gauge how students are progressing with grasping the material. So as is always the case with these presentations, we like to do live demos so that you can better see how topic questions and our other resources work together. So if you'll bear with me while I transition here, I'm going to go to AP Classroom. And I'm going to start by logging in. That's at myap.collegeboard.org, myap.collegeboard.org. I'm going to use my username and password here. You're going to want to log in with your College Board username and password. I'm going to click submit. And as we've stated in other presentations, what this is going to do is to take you to a personalized homepage of AP Central. This is customized to you as an AP teacher, so you're going to see icons for courses that you teach. The more AP courses you teach, the more icons you will see here. Mine has several, so I'm just going to kind of scroll through. I'd like to show all of our courses some love, so I'm going to scroll down to World History, and we're going to click here, go to AP Classroom. By clicking here, we're going to be taken to the home page of AP Classroom proper. This previous page is not technically AP Classroom, but rather that personalized AP Central page. And again, I will make a quick plug for our user guide for teachers in our help menu. Again, this help menu has been revamped to kind of be better useful for teachers and more teacher friendly. Depending on when you last logged into AP Classroom, you may get some notes about videos for AP Daily being available. If you'd like to know more about AP Daily, please make sure you watch our other presentation on AP Daily specifically. So if I'd gone to the help menu and I click on AP Teacher Guide for AP Classroom, it will bring up the full user guide. And again, there are individual quick start videos here. One of them is just under 2 minutes on assigning topic questions. And so if you want a different perspective or you want a really quick how to, which buttons to press for assigning topic questions, you can watch this video as well. Or you can come over here to the side panel and scroll down till you see using topic questions, and that will bring up a annotated screenshot for you to follow, including all of the functions once you are in the question bank and dealing with the topic questions. But I'm going to show you a lot of this live time. So let's go back here to AP Classroom itself. And what you will see here in Unit 1 for AP World History is the individual units and then the individual topics. You'll see this no matter what course you teach. And you will see here that there are upwards of 3 videos for each individual topic here for students to watch. But then underneath most of our topics, with the exception of some of our very first and last topics in some of our history courses, you will see the topic question link here. So I'm going to say, let's go here to state building in the Americas. You'll see there's one AP Daily video here, and then here is my link for topic questions. If I want to know exactly what I want to teach here or what I need to teach, I can actually click on this link and it will bring up the It will bring up the page from the course and exam description. So it has the thematic focus, learning objective, and historical development. It also has the suggested skill up here in the corner, and then some illustrative examples that I may want to use, but I'm not obliged to use in terms of teaching this particular course content. I can also read the skill here by clicking on the skill chip and get a full description of that skill. But let's say I have either had students learn the content in and skill here by having them watch this AP Daily video, or I've done direct instruction myself with my students to teach them the content and skill here. And I want to assess how well they have understood what has been taught. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this topic question. I want you to remember that we're looking at topic 1.4 and skill 3B. So I'm going to click here, and what that's going to do is it's going to take me to the question bank. So oftentimes we get questions from teachers, how do I thought the question bank contained old AP exam questions, and the answer is that it does. But because you have the freedom to assemble topic questions, however it is that you would like, you want to assign 3 at a time, you only want to assign 1 as an exit ticket, you want to assign 1 as a warm up as students are walking into a classroom, or signing online for a virtual class. Uh, this will allow you to create assessments that vary in length and vary in the type of question that's being asked. So these topic questions are housed in the question bank along with our other AP Classroom questions. So I want you to remember that this was topic 1.4 and skill 3B. And the really awesome part about clicking on that topic questions link on the homepage is that it pre-filters the question bank for me. And I can know that this is exactly all of the filters that I'm going to need. So in other words, it's being filtered for topic questions, it's being filtered for this particular skill, and it's being filtered for this particular content topic. Again, I will notice this light bulb icon, which is the same light bulb icon that we saw on the homepage next to topic questions, so that if, let's say, I didn't select I didn't select either the skill or the AP questions. I can see that there are some questions that have light bulbs, and I know that they're topic questions. I see some questions that have a shield, which means that they came from a secure practice exam and therefore would require the lockdown browser. We'll talk about those more when we do our presentation on the question bank. But then we see others that fall into neither of those categories, which means these were either from a released exam or an older practice exam, something like this. But you should know here that in some cases, just because a question is aligned to a particular topic doesn't necessarily mean that it's aligned to the same skill that I might have taught when I was teaching this content. So, because the course and exam description and AP Classroom have suggested that I teach these two things together, one of the things that I want to make sure is that I've actually covered skill 1A if I choose to assign this particular question. And if I go back to the home page, if I've been teaching this course in the same order as the CED presents it, I will have seen that I've maybe done some skill 1A when I taught topic 1.2. So if I wanted to use a question that was aligned to topic 1.4 but skill 1A, I at least know that I've taught that skill before. I may want to concentrate on this pairing first, but if I decide that it's the content versus the skill that's causing students a few more problems, I may want to see how they do with this content in context of a skill that I've already taught. So that will give me a little bit more information on how students are progressing through the content and skills of the course. Again, I'm going to click on the topic questions link here so I can go back to where I was. And let's say I want to assign all 3 of these questions. I can do that individually by adding them to an assessment, but there's now this really awesome button here that allows you to add all these questions to the same quiz, so I don't have to do it all individually. If I click on this little I button, this info button here, you'll see an explanation that this feature will always exist if there are 100 or fewer questions that match your search criteria or your filter criteria. Now, we don't necessarily say that it's the best use of time to make 100 question quiz, but know that this feature will exist uh, up to 100 questions meeting your filter or search criteria. So I think it's great. I can tell by the name of all of these questions that they're going to refer to the same passage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add these questions to the quiz. And what I'll do here is I'm going to say this is topic 1.4. Let's say I'm going to make it a homework for whatever reason. And I'm going to click create quiz. And what that's going to do is it's going to take me to the separate tab. So I can actually go back to this and continue to browse. If I wanted to add more questions here, I could. I could undo adding them. I could change the name of my assignment if I really wanted to by clicking on the edit icon here. But I can see that all 3 questions have been added, and I can also see that because this has turned orange now. And if I actually hover over the orange, let's see, maybe I need to click there. It'll say this is uh, what assignment it's actually been added to and whether or not that has been officially assigned to one or more of my class sections. So I know it's on topic 1.4 homework, which is what I just made, but it's not yet been assigned to my class. Um, I'm going to go back to this and I can reorder these questions by moving them up and down. I could delete one of the questions if I wanted to. I could preview this whole quiz if I wanted to. I could have previewed each question individually if I wanted to as well. Um, but now that I've made this, I can kind of just do this whole preview. I want to um, kind of bring your attention up here. There are some options here. I can edit the quiz from here. Let's say I wanted to delete this question in some way. I could do that. I could also duplicate this quiz now, meaning if I have 2 sections, I could change the order, change the number of questions, things like that. So I can use this as a basis for a different version that I want to give, let's say, my period 2 class. So this is an option now. I could remove this question. I could uh, look at this preview, but I can also do a print preview if I wanted to print this out and give it to students if I am meeting in a face-to-face setting. And what that will do is that will bring up a PDF that I can then look at that is going to have all of the questions and their correct answers highlighted for me. So I kind of have an answer key, um, and I can kind of scroll through here. And some of the other things that I can do is, oh, sorry, that was a print preview if I'm going to give it to students. This is going to be my kind of answer key here, a scoring guide. Sorry about that. So let me just say that one more time. This button will bring up a print preview for students, and that is this that does not have the answers on it. And this other one right here, this scoring guide, is going to have the same questions, but will have the answers highlighted for me. Um, if I wanted to learn more about this question, what I would do here as from a teacher perspective is expand this question scoring and details. And one of the first things that I'm going to notice is I'm going to get that same correct answer here. It will match what I saw in my scoring guide. And it will bring up the rationale for that correct answer. But I'm also able to kind of click around and let's say I think my students might be tempted to choose option A, I can then read the rationale that they will be shown for why this is the incorrect answer. And I can kind of read that for all of them. I can also see on the side here what learning objective this question is aligned to. Um, what type of question, what thinking skill or just core skill it has been assigned. It's been aligned to. For our history courses, the reasoning process also that it is aligned to, whether or not it's part of a set, what kind of stimulus type it is, a whole bunch of useful information about this particular question. Again, I can scroll through the questions by either using the arrow button, or I can click here by clicking the question number. When you see these kind of connections, our team affectionately calls this the charm bracelet. It means that the connections, all of these questions share the same stimulus, so you know that they are connected in some way. So these are all the ways that you can preview and adjust your assignment before you assign it to students. I can either assign it from here, or I can go back and I can assign it from here. And when I assign my question, you will notice for every single one of these features, there's a little icon that tells you a little bit more about what the options here allow you to do. So if you want to know, what does this mean, and can I assign it to more than one class, or what does it mean when students see results, I would encourage you to kind of click on these buttons and read all these individual caveats, so you have a little bit more an understanding about what each feature does. Um, this one can be given online or in print. It's going to default to online. When students see the results, it's either after scoring or no. So in other words, if I want students to see their results right away, because these are all multiple choice, and I want them to get the correct answers and their score immediately after they press submit, I would click after scoring. If I want to wait until the whole class is finished and then I want to be the one to kind of release the answers to students, then I can change this to no. Again, more about what that actually means by clicking on the info button here. You can set a start date, a due date, a timer. I do want to point out here that the time limit will allow students to see a timer, but when the time is up, students are notified to submit, but they can continue to work past the time that it is elapsed. And this, again, is to accommodate students with extended time accommodations on IEPs or 504 plans. If you really want to lock the quiz or the assessment when the timer is up, you need to schedule the due date to be to close the assignment at that particular date and time, and that will actually not allow students to continue. So I just want to kind of point out the difference between the due date and the timer. There are other advanced settings here. You can custom name this. You can actually use the lockdown browser if you want to. We know a lot of teachers don't prefer this, but you can if you'd like. It's not mandatory for this particular type of question, um, like it would be for a secure question from a secure practice exam. That's why it's under advanced settings. And then you can scramble the order of the questions from section to section if you'd like. I'm going to click assign here. And what that is going to do is going to take me to my assignment screen. And my assignment screen here allows me to kind of manage my live test session if students are taking it online. I can also update any of these settings by clicking update settings here. Um, Using this manage live test session will actually tell me students who are in progress of taking this quiz, students who have submitted. I can also freeze time if I'm in a face-to-face setting and there's a fire drill for whatever reason. I can actually pause this so that students don't lose time and then resume when we come back. I can also extend time for either the entire class or for particular students with certain extended time accommodations. So those are all things that can be done from this screen. What I am going to do here is, here's my class of students. In real life, your students are going to take the quiz. My students are fictional, and so you won't have this button. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to generate student responses here. I have 15 students in my class. Let's say 14 of them took the quiz. Um, again, in real life, your students are going to actually take the quiz. But so we can kind of fast forward here and you can see what the results look like. Um, we're going to do this little trick. And as students complete the quiz, what you will see on the screen are these individual results telling us that a student is either completed and it's been scored, or they have not yet started. And so as soon as this comes up here, we'll see now my 15 students have said 14 are now scored, the date it was submitted. Obviously, it's all at the same time because this was auto generated, but your students, you'll actually be able to see how long each student took to do this based on the date and time submitted. And if I scroll all the way down, I can see the one student that did not take the quiz. Then I can go over to results and I can see the results for this particular assignment. If you've already assigned other things, this list will be a little bit longer. You can even toggle back to assessments you might have given in the 2019-2020 school year. But I can now see my students, my class performance here. You can see this is separated by color coding. I can see on average, my students scored approximately 1 out of 3. Like they got 1 out of 3 questions correct, so not so great. I can click here and I can see how my students and which students fell into which category, and along with what the colors actually mean. So these two students got 100, they got 3 out of 3. These two students got 66% because they scored 2 out of 3. Here are my students with 1 out of 3. Here are my students with 0 out of 3. There's a counter that tells me how many students, and that counter will match what you see on this bar right here. I can actually click on an individual student and go to that individual student's results. Or what I can do here is I can go to the actual quiz itself and I can get all of this information. So one of the great things is that I can see results by question. So I can see in general, students did better on question number 3 than they did on a question 1 and 2. The red just means how many correct, sorry, green is how many correct, red is how many incorrect here. This is on the whole entire uh, assignment. So, as I'm going over this, I'm probably going to want to spend more time going over questions 1 and 2 than I am going over question 3, although it looks like I'm probably going to have to go over all 3 of them. I can then click on an individual question and I can see here some information about this. I can see again all of the rationales. And again, students will be able to see the rationales for the correct and incorrect answers. But I can see here also like how many students chose which answer. So one of the things when I'm looking to save time in my classroom about going over something, I at least know that I don't have to explain to students why C was not the answer because no student picked it. But there may be something specific about answer choice A or answer choice D that reveals some sort of misunderstanding that these 10 students have that caused them to pick one of these two answers. But I at least very know that they don't know that they did know that C was not the answer. Okay, and then also we'll see here over on the side, we'll see some alignment. So I know this was again topic 1.4, skill 3B. If I wanted more questions that align to just the content, I could go to the question bank and this will filter for me. If I wanted to do just skill 3B, I can go to the question bank. It will filter for me. I already knew that questions 2 and 3 were related to this because they're all sharing the same passage. But then it also tells me that the related video that goes with this is 1.4 daily video 1. And so I may say to these 10 students that got this question incorrect that maybe they want to go back and watch this video. It might help them with any relearning that they might have to do to correct any misunderstandings that they may have. I can also see this from the student view, the student panel here. And again, this kind of gives me a very quick overview Again, when I'm looking at that first question, I can at least say, although 10 students got this wrong, I know that none of them picked C. So I don't have to go over why C is not the answer. Whereas I'm looking over here and I have students all over the place, right? I have one that picked A, I have a couple that picked C, I have a couple that picked D. Maybe I just have a one off with Keith Metz, why he picked A, and maybe I concentrate on why C and D are not the answer. But these are, again, some information that you can use in your results to try to help you make the most of the time that you have with students. And again, I want to kind of go back to that this topic skill pairing 1.4 with skill 3B is going to come up again on the personal progress check. And students will get more practice once you've taught all of the topics and skill pairings in that particular unit, so that you'll teach students will have more practice with this content and this skill together. So, with that, I'm gonna bring this presentation to a close. I hope that you will join us for other presentations and learn more about AP Daily videos, personal progress checks, and the question bank and the progress dashboard. Um, we're trying to get you the information you need to make the most of the time that you do have with students. Until then, I want to wish you and your students all the best for a successful end to the school year. Please stay safe. Please stay well. We know this year has been challenging. So thank you for all you do for your students, for AP, and for your schools. We know that teachers are very important. Always, but especially these days. So, thank you again. Please join us for another presentation soon, and all the best to you.